basically all of Sean's contracts are lining up, including the delivery of this beast, and as soon as these border restrictions are gone, then this one's going to be hitting the road for the next 2 years. I'm sure on Sean's channels he'll keep everyone up to date with where this truck's going to be. For anyone who's not following at the moment, it's the Dusty79 on Instagram, or just Sean Scott Photography on Facebook to keep up with his adventures and stuff like that. But anyway, it's enough of that. Everyone really just wants to see the car behind me. Obviously, I can state the obvious. It's a 2020 silver dual cab 79 series GXL with a 4495 J-Max chassis. Now, on the last model we did for Sean, it was just a standard 300mm stretch with still a Norweld tray deck, but it had a slightly shorter canopy. We can utilize a little bit extra length with the J-Max chassis. There's a lot more strength from here to the center of the axle, and especially from here to there. So we've got a 1900 Pro Touring canopy on it, built by Norweld up in Cairns. Looks unreal. It's fully 2-pack painted, all color coded. The last one was just the doors. We if we can push our customers to do full paint, we will, because longevity, ease of maintenance, full paint just always looks good. You can polish it, buff it, as you would a normal car as well. This one's actually getting a Codex ceramic coat done to it too. So just to keep it looking that little bit shinier for a little while. Up on top, James Brood, Evo Evasion. This is the new generation of Rhino Pioneer platforms, the new shape. It's a little bit better for mounting lights and all that bits and pieces to it. We actually really dig the new design. It's pretty cool. A little bit stronger on the outside part of the platform, better for mounting things coming out off the side as well. A lot more sort of channels and stuff that we can run cabling through and all that. But anyway, this is the basis of the Pro Touring canopy. We've still got a little shelf to go in here yet as well, but obviously we've done some carpet, make it sort of nice and cozy. The back here we've got sort of Sean's, we're just going to leave this one open. We're still yet to decide what we're actually going to do in the rear here for Sean, but it's all carpeted anyway. This big drawer here is full of all of Sean's handover goodies at the moment, but we're going to use this to basically cut out little foam inserts for all the cameras and lenses and bits and pieces, so it'll all have a really good home in that drawer. Up on the top deck here, we're going to do the same thing with Sean's bits and pieces, all his chargers. We'll put some Velcro on and give everything a nice little home here, so it can't sort of fly around in the canopy. Up on the shelf is going to be another storage bit for more your drones, cameras, bits and pieces. But on the system in here, obviously it's a little bit different to what we would normally do in a canopy. This is Red Arc's TVMS system paired up with a Manager 30 S3, so the latest version of the Manager BMS. Still a 30 amp charger or 32.5 amp charger, but the benefit of the S3 version is that with running a lithium, like what most people are running these days, it has a 0-volt charge pickup point. So if you do happen to flatten a lithium and the internal poles disconnect, that BMS can actually still pick it up from scratch and start charging it, instead of having to parallel or push a battery reset button or something like that. The BMS will pick it up, still register that it's there, and start charging it, which is really cool. Saves having to pull fridges out and trying to get access to the battery. Also, in conjunction with that, we've got the TVMS unit, which is basically a big switching unit which you can run all these appliances through. You can see it all on this little screen here. You can allocate what things are what. We've got passenger lights, driver's lights, passenger side cigarette outlets. We've got a switch here for the inverter. We can turn it on, which remotely turns on the inverter. We've got our external floodlights here. You can turn that on. We can turn the fridge on and off, and we can see exactly what is happening, the exact current draw. So we've got 4.1 amps coming out of the battery, feeding 6 amps into there. We're also getting a little bit of assistance from solar. We've got 2 amps coming in from solar to help out the load that's coming out of the battery. Really cool. And all of this can also be shown on the Red Arc app and controlled from the Red Arc app. So you can be sitting inside your cab and see exactly what's going on. You can switch all these components on and off as well. Has your standard BMS logging, like how the traditional BMS, you could pick up exactly how much solar you're making, and it keeps a log for that as well, like over the days of what you've been making, your average power consumption, for goodness sake. Like it's pretty cool. A couple of 240 volt outlets for the chargers, a few SIG and USB outlets too. We're running the twin ARB compressor through a 3 litre Boss Air tank. Sort of like, it's a good size. Sean can use that to blow off the dust of some of the camera gear, the lenses and all that sort of stuff. And as well pump up the tyres in the car and the van. This side we're running ROH 17x9 Vapors in a neg 12 with some 33-inch all-terrains, BF Goodrich's or 285 70-17s. Going this way, the 33 is still a much better suited tyre when towing. Like I said earlier on, the next sort of 2 years, Sean's got a 4-ton Lotus on the back, and the 285s is a much better pair for towing weight constantly. Can do it on 35s, no dramas. It just puts a little bit more strain on the running gear. The clutch zaps a little bit more power. So the 285s are a really good match for long distance touring, towing weight. Twin spares, a couple of little floodlights off the back there, controlled from the Red Vision system as well, so they can come on and off with the side lights. Big rear drawer from Norweld. Yeah, there we go. Little rear table, clip-on table. 7-pin plug and an Anderson. We're not doing the winch in the back of Sean, sort of has no real purpose for one. Sort of 30 to 40 kilos sitting there. If you don't think you're gonna ever use it, then don't put one in, because it's maintenance, it's weight. If you don't need it, just leave it out. This side, the kitchen sort of cooking side, sort of yet to fit this out with bits and pieces, but we're actually putting a microwave in here, and potentially a little slide for the cooker and stuff, a little electric hot plate. We're still working that out with Sean. Got the 110 litre Dometic upright fridge freezer, little 11 litre freezer up in there. These are gold, so good for food storage. If you're a big beer drinker with lots of cans, then we'd normally suggest still having a small chest fridge as a drinks fridge as well. But these are sweet, so good for storing food. Or bottles of milk, you know, if you're just a wine drinker in the door, that's sweet. Or if you've got some stubbies, just keep them in their 6-pack configuration and put them in there so they don't roll around. And yeah, the big kitchen drawer and table. Underneath we've got just the 2 normal front and rear toolboxes, the toolkit system that comes with the J-Max chassis, and a batwing up on top. We've got a 100-watt slimline high voltage solar panel up there. Beauty of the high voltage is when it runs through an MPPT regulator, it will drop the voltage and boost the current. So you can do that with these modern tech chargers and solar regulators. That works really quite well. TJM bar work on this one. We're running the Nava Ultima 215 LEDs. No word of a lie, those things are so freaking bright. There's the Nava Explorers up on the roof, the 20-inch light bars. But these, I'm so blown away with them. We really like them. GME antenna. It's running the King's 4-inch lift. It is a 4-inch lift. King shocks, J-Max coils, King spring coils. You basically do our normal Pro Touring treatment inside the cab, where we gut the whole lot, pull it all out, we sound deaden the whole lot, pre-run any sort of cables that need to be in underneath the carpet or the sills to get to the back at that time, and then we start fitting it out with all the Department of the Interior goodies. We've got a T-shaped roof console with outlets on either side, the GME TX 4500. It's a really sort of good usable UHF. You can see it and access it quite easily up there. We sort of prefer them up in the roof because it declutters the dash as much as we can. We've got the Department door pods. These are the marine ply ones with the PVC door pockets. Fit a full bottle in there. Running the Alpine RS65s in the front and the rear. Sort of different. We don't normally do the rear ones, but Sean's got a couple of kids. They're going to be jumping in the back here too, so it does sound a lot better having rear door speakers. These are the Recaro Expert M's. While we're on this bit, we sort of prefer the medium size Recaro is the best average size. It fits most people. It's not too hard to get in and out of. The sides aren't too tall. They still grip you though pretty well. Electric clear views, Tow Pro, all our switching, normal bits and pieces in on the dash. And then we've got in behind here, where a lot of the magic happens. We've got the department rear wall panel with, we've got the 10-inch Alpine sub, amp, little side pockets with some USB outlets in for the kids. Very, very cool. A lot of work goes into just that rear wall panel setup. That pretty much sums up the interior of the Dusty 79. It's going to be a pretty comfortable place for Sean to be spending a lot of hours on on his own on those corrugated roads out in the outback. I'll quickly show you under the bonnet. We've got the normal DPU treatment. It's the first thing that happens with all of our cars when they make their way down. They stop in at Mackay. We've got the high flow intercooler, the fuel manager pre-filter kit on the DPU bracket, Pro Vent catch can, an ECU remap. We've got the DPF in on this one, and I think we made roughly around 570 odd Newton meters, which is pretty good average figure. Like, we didn't want to go overboard because Sean's towing quite a bit. Yeah, it's gonna give him a good boost of power and good fuel economy with the van on the back. So over here we normally switch these out. AGM dual force Sentry, they're a ripper battery, and all our fusing, isolators and all that sort of stuff on this side. Easy enough for him to get to. That sort of sums up the Dusty 79. It's, of course, if you want to see more, follow this one around. We're going to be posting a fair bit more of this truck over the next couple of weeks, but jump onto the Dusty 79 and Sean's got photography and to follow all the travels. It's going to be really cool to see this over the next 2 years, to see where it takes him, and we're all going to be very, very bloody jealous of it. But if you've got any questions, you can drop a comment in the YouTube clip or send us an email. Email is best. You can try call us, but the phones are getting flogged at the moment. So thanks for watching.